Hey there, good man fam, and welcome new viewers to another episode of the Female Guessing Game. Now, the way this game works is that I'll review a video that has a single female in it or multiple females in it. But here's the catch. When it's a single female, I'll be asking you if she's a traditional woman, or modern female. However, when it's multiple females in the video, you won't know about which female I'm asking you until the end of the video. So, you have to stay to the end of the video to see about which female I'm asking you is a traditional woman, or modern female. Ready? Let's get it.
Women who are like, yeah, sure, I'll marry a dude who makes $150,000 a year and pays for all my. That sounds a lot different than I'm looking to get married. To me,
who said that?
That sounds different.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm curious which one of us said that.
Well, so as we're going around the table, right? What do you think that when you say a man who can support himself and is supporting himself and can support a family, if he lives in the Santa Barbara area, what do you think that would take if you had to guess?
Probably over $300,000 a year, but we're not talking about this specific location. We're not including the fact that each of us are, I think everyone around the table is willing to have a 2-income household. Do you agree or do you disagree? I think partnership.
Do you see what just happened there? Did you see what just happened there? See, this is what females do when it comes to the sisterhood. Because they're the weaker vessel, as I've said before, and we all should know by now, what they do is try to get the validation from the sisterhood. It's in essence trying to get everybody to push the car together. Come on, everybody push with me. So she made a statement talking about all of the females at the table would be okay with a 2-income household, right? But she could see, oh, nobody's answering the question. I see the look on their faces. So I'm going to keep going. Right. Because probably the majority of these females at the table, if not all of them, probably are on that bull crap of I want a man to pay 100% of everything and my money is my money because his money is our money. That's why he has to pay everything. And when she saw, oh, shoot, all right, it's the sisterhood. I know that's not true at all. And I don't want to get locked up in this arena. So I'm going to go ahead and keep on moving on. Yeah, don't worry, boo-boo. We saw that.
Is everything. My dad and my stepmom. My dad is 16 years older than my stepmom. They've been together for 18 years now. He invested in her company and now she makes more money than him and she's the main provider of our household. I think.
Are you saying that because that's supposed to be some type of flex? Isn't it funny how females will try to flex on you about things that they got from you helping them? So in essence, I'm better than you because I make more than you now. Yeah, but I know you got me to this point, but I'm still better than you because, hey, I make more than you now, so your fault.
So he gave her money for her company and now
yep, and she's paid it all back. Her company is doing much better, or it's doing well, I mean, and now she makes more money than him and pays his mortgage.
Do you see how she just did that twice? You notice how she said she makes more money than him now. See, she keeps saying that because, again, that's supposed to be a flex. But she doesn't realize males don't give a crap. Yeah, males will get money from you, especially, Chads and Tyrones. You know what I'm saying? Get the money out of you if we want to or not. It's our choice. We have the skill to actually do that. But she wants to sit up here and talk like it's a virtue for her mom to make more money than her dad, when she seems to not even realize or accept, at the least, that males generally don't give a crap about your money.
I don't need no man.
And she's also helping me pay for my college. So women
yeah,
can
that's great.
be providers.
That's called dividends. That's called dividends. That's how that works when you invest in a company and it does well. You get money back out of it. That's
Absolutely,
how it works.
But she is a female.
He could have done that without any marriage, right?
Yeah, but I think if you find a partner who's willing to work with you and grow with you and create a sustainable life for you and a future family, I think that's an absolutely beautiful thing for both partners to have ambition. And also, I would be perfectly happy, you know, marrying a woman who makes more money than me or less money than me, or marrying a man who makes more money than me or less money than me, as long as in our combined household we can ensure the safety of one another, and we both have similar mindsets with financial planning, investments, retirement funds.
She's just rambling. Okay, you notice she keeps saying partner. This is what they do. They try to use LGBTQIA plus language when it deals with heterosexual relationships. They try to say partner is not a partnership. It's what's called a benevolent dictatorship. The male is leading like at a company and the female is following. My example that I coined of the male driving and the female helping him navigate, not her navigating, her helping him to navigate. And did you notice something? You're going to have to go back and listen again. There's a guy named Sneeko who most of you are probably familiar with, and he said something a while ago, and she is just the epitome of about what it is he was talking. You notice every time she finishes talking, her voice goes up. This is how she talks. I mean, and if you want in society to make sure that we all have equal footing when it comes to our households, and to listen, from now on, when you hear her talk, when we're listening to this, listen to how it is that she talks. That's how she talks. And Sneeko was talking about any of the females that talk like that. Now, again, you can like or not like Sneeko. That's not the point. But any of the females who talk like that are the freaking dumbest. Like, it just is mind-boggling how stupid they are. Listen to her.
College funds if we are planning to have children, Roth IRAs, that type of issue.
What about the love thing? Is that the most important factor, or the
Right.
money?
For marriage?
Absolutely.
Love for marriage, is that more important than money? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Nothing in life is free. If you marry someone for the money, you earn every penny. That's what my mom would tell me when I was a kid.
I'm sure she would.
So it would be money. That's
No,
more
no.
important
The
than that.
point is
Yeah.
that if you marry someone for the money, you earn every penny because you choose a life of unhappiness.
Yeah.
Man, listen. It is amazing what the propaganda from all of these female-centric shows on TV and the internet and the whole nine have done to these females' brains, yo. It's crazy. All about which they think is money. Money, 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 money. Then they get a guy with money and they say, well, I'm miserable with him with money because he's not here that often. That's because he has to make money. Do you understand how difficult it is to be a guy who makes the amount of money that most females say that they want and still be available the amount of time that a female says that they want a man to be available? Bro, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I think that was the lesson she always taught me. You have to be open-minded, you know? Not everything in life is material. And I think because there are so many ways to make money independently, and I mean, for example, writing your own book and like creating your own platform, I think there's less of a necessity for women to marry solely for money, when in the past and not that long ago, we couldn't even have our own credit cards, you know, without the permission of a man.
Yeah, but
We
you
can't-
also didn't incur any debt. That's why you couldn't have credit cards.
Exactly. This is what's so crazy. Females always talk about, we couldn't have bank accounts. We couldn't this. It's like, first of all, yes, you could. Bull crap. But about when you're talking, you didn't incur the debt because all the debt was always put on the man. So no matter what happened, the debt got pushed to the man. If you had debt, he was responsible for it. That's why. But females don't take that into account. They only take, what am I not getting? They don't take into account what they are getting, which is somebody else is responsible for your debts. Man, but they don't know history. They don't understand any of this. They're just like, well, I didn't get what I wanted to get, so I didn't get a chance to vote. Well, you didn't get a chance to vote like most men in history. But again, they don't talk about that because you were supposed to be, as they say, subject to military conscription, which you were not. That's why you didn't vote. But if you got a chance to vote, you're supposed to be subject to that. But they got a chance to vote without being it. So they're like, I'm good with that. I'm good with getting the stuff, but not having to take the responsibility on for having the access to that stuff.
Yeah, but we were owned property by men.
No, you weren't
No, you
owned
weren't.
property. That's ridiculous.
There's not a
Right.
point in human history where women have been property of men.
No.
That's not what I said. I said you weren't owned property in this country. ever.
Right.
Me personally,
In
no,
America?
but
No, women. Women were not.
In the United States, women were never considered legal property
not
of
legal
another
property.
person.
But if you're don't have body autonomy and you can't make your own income,
There it goes.
and you have to rely on being married in order to have any type of social standing.
Women
or
could always
status.
make their own income in the United
See what she just did there? She's doing the whole society, and she's doing that, but she's also doing what? Language shifting. It went from, oh, we couldn't do this, to where, well, it kind of feels like that if we can't do that. We can't do A. Yeah, you could. Well, it kind of feels like we couldn't do A because we couldn't do B. And then if they say, well, B is bullcrap. Well, I mean, it's technically because of C. She keeps moving the field of battle to try to find a field of battle on which she can win. Just keep listening to her.
States. Where on earth did you get the idea that they
Bruh.
couldn't?
Guys,
Did you learn this in feminist studies?
See, she just did it again. See what she just did? She looked for the sisterhood to help her. Bruh, and then she looked around at everybody else like, y'all gonna help me? Y'all gonna jump in? No, boo-boo. You are the one that made the statement. You are the one who said this bull crap. So you are the one who has to stand on it.
Studies class 101.
But like white women, like we're not really accepted into the working class.
if you want to argue, I'm not saying was no room for income and that there was no room for any type of sustainable life or women to, create some type of wealth until
Battlefield
really
shifting.
wartime. Women weren't allowed in the workforce, and that was only
Yes,
because
they
there
were.
were no
Where did
men.
you get the idea that
Where
they
in the
weren't?
workforce were they not
They
allowed?
were still nurses. They were
Nurses,
still teachers.
right.
They were still doing all sorts
Nurses
of jobs
and
inside of
teachers,
society. What do
so
you mean?
they were
Same
limited
types
to
of jobs they're doing
domestic
right now,
role
by the way.
laws.
They were doing.
See what she just did? She said, they weren't allowed in society. It's like, yeah, they were. Then she said, nurses, this. She's like, see, nurses, they were limited. Women. Your argument wasn't that they were limited. Your argument was not allowed. Not allowed is not the same as limited. Not getting ice cream is not the same as having a limited amount of ice cream. But what is she doing? I just said it. She's battlefield shifting. This is what modern females do. Modern females battle shift as far as the field on which the battle is being held. This is what these females do.
They were
Hang on.
they were
doing. Hang on.
One
Just
at a
calm
time,
down.
one at a time.
Relax. They were doing clerical work. They were teaching. They were nursing. They're doing all the same jobs that they're basically doing right now.
Okay, well, there are plenty of women who are moving up in corporate worlds as well as moving up in different sections
No, there's not
of
very many
career.
women who are moving up the corporate ladder in
Compared
corporate world.
to
So why
50
there's
years
so many?
ago?
There's so few female CEOs.
See what she just did again? She did it again. It was, there are so, many moving up. And Andrew's like, no, they're not. And then she says, have to battlefield shift again. Let me change it from there are so many moving up to there are so many moving up compared to 50 years ago. Ma'am, that's not the same statement. That's not the same statement. That's like saying, I'm stronger than you. And then it says, well, no, you're not stronger than them. Well, I'm stronger than most people around you. Well, that's not saying you're stronger than him. Those are two different statements. She just keeps on moving the field of battle, trying to find a field of battle on which she can win, but she's getting slaughtered in this debate.
For a reason. They don't gravitate towards that kind of work.
Exactly.
Okay. You're right. I'm wrong. Women
Yes, you are.
They are only meant to do domestic work.
See what she just did there? This is what they do. She found out that she didn't know about what the freak it is she was talking. So what does she do? She instantly goes to versions of the shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right by saying sarcastically, oh, okay, you're right. And then tries to shift the field of battle again to try to say he said something she didn't say. oh, we're only good for domestic work. Wait a minute. Who said you were only good for domestic work? From where did that come? Nobody said that. But then she said that. You see that awkward smile that she has? Because she knows she doesn't know about what the freak it is she's talking, and she got exposed. Now she's looking around at the sisterhood. Look at their faces. They're looking like, her sister, you on your own.
I don't need no man.
I don't think that's what he's saying.
That's not what I said. That's
Exactly.
a mischaracterization. I'm just explaining to you the reality. I don't understand why you're being so aggressive. I haven't been mean to you.
Can I
I'm just
ask
explaining
something?
to you
Go for it.
Chilling.
what the reality of the situation is.
Go ahead, and then Isabel will go. Go ahead.
What does this have to do with women not being able to own, like, have their own credit cards or open a bank account in their own
Well,
name?
because women not
First of all, that chick is the one that shifted the battlefield 3 or 4 times. So don't ask Andrew that. Ask her that. She's the one who did that. But of course, they're not going to hold each other accountable. So they're going to try to, of course, put it on males.
not being able to have bank accounts and credit cards because they weren't allowed to incur debt. This was great because right now the biggest holders of debt in the United States are women. It's crushing for most women. Before that, men had to incur all the debt. So the wife could go out and spend all of the money that she wanted in her husband's name, and he had to incur the debt even post-divorce. He still had to take care of the debt. She had none of it in her name. This was one of the primary arguments against feminism from the anti-suffragettes, is that they did not want to incur debt. And now women have racked up tons and tons of it.
I mean, so have men. It's crushing for men, too. So, I mean, I don't really think anyone should be forced to incur debt, so I'm not sure why.
First of all, do you see what she just did? Jesus, man. It's like it's built in them. Deflection of accountability. Deflection. He tells them something about females, which is answering the question that the female asked, which isn't even a question he should have had to answer because the other female is the one who moved the field of battle multiple times. And he answers her, and then she says, oh, shoot, it's making females look bad, so I got to do the 50-50 thing. Well, males too. Males also, because they cannot ever take responsibility. What I tell you all, say it with me, they can never be the culprits. They always have to be the victim. They can never be the villain. They always have to be the hero. They can never be the cause. They always have to be the person upon whom the effect of the cause was thrown. This is how they roll.
You know what? I think that if I asked a man if he got married, if all of the debt would be incurred by the woman and all he had to do was not have a credit card or bank account, I'd take that deal in 5 seconds.
What do you mean by not be forced to incur any debt?
It means that everything that all money that I spend on all credit cards will
Motorsports
immediately in your
donated
name.
$200. In 1877, a woman was elected mayor in Kansas. Your history sucks.
Right.
Accuracy matters. You are in fact wrong. Feminism has failed you. Patriarchy is the way to the truth and stands ready to help be better.
Facts.
Yo, Grid One, thank you. You had a question for her.
Yeah, I
you
just
said-
wanted to get some clarification there. Nobody should be forced to incur debt. What does that mean?
Just like in a purely hypothetical, like, perfect world, no one would be taking on debt to, like, go to college.
Did she? First of all, she did not ask that in a purely hypothetical world. She asked that after the conversation between Brian and that chick right there on the right. So it wasn't about a hypothetical world. That's bull crap, first of all. She's doing that whole, oh, shoot, it looks like I'm caught in the line of sight. Let me try to mitigate my answer in order to do what? Move the field of battle onto a field on which she thinks she can win. So now it's not the reality of it about which Brian was speaking, but it's now hypothetical.
Let's talk about the real world.
Okay. In the real world, I mean, that's not possible.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it
Oh
should.
my gosh.
I mean, basically, you're implying that it's good that it's men's responsibility to incur all debt. And I feel like if that were actually the case, then we would be in a different argument where it would be like, well, women suck because women don't incur any debt and we incur all of their debt. So I feel like it's just kind of like a bad faith.
No, that's not the conversation in which we'd be, because males don't have a problem with that. But you all tell each other that males do, even though males don't. That's the craziness. Males are talking, saying what it is that we think, we feel, what it is that we want, how it is that we're going to be, how it is that we are. And instead of you all hearing us, you go and talk to each other and tell each other what you think we are, how you think we think, and then come back and try to argue with us about us when you don't even know us.
Argument. I don't know.
Well, it's not a bad faith argument. It's just giving a descriptor for why it happened that way. Why it was that women, and there was far more anti-suffragettes than there were pro-suffragettes, by the way, made very compelling arguments, like they didn't want to get drafted, for instance. They didn't want... See, what the anti-suffragettes said was that women had the moral high ground because they weren't political tools.
Right,
They weren't
couldn't be
political
used.
tools because they couldn't vote. So they weren't tapped into as being political tools. So when they said something, they said it from a position of moral authority. They weren't being tapped into. So this is how they were able to argue successfully for things in women's interests without being just considered another voting bloc that needed to be appealed to.
Facts.
When it came to debt and things like this, it is true that women didn't hold they could have bank accounts, by the way. But most of the time when they opened up lines of credit and debt and accounts, it was always in their husband's name, but the husband was also responsible for all of the debt, and the women weren't. And even when the man died, the woman would get his property, but it may not be the same if a woman died, that he would automatically default and get the property. She was able to incur all sorts of wealth for herself and didn't have to spend it.
Do you think that's a more preferable system? Would you like to go back to that financial?
Well, I think it's a more preferable system to begin to move women outside of the workplace. That way we can go back to a family dynamic that works, and we can get the reproductive health of the United States back up, because right now it's in the gutter. I don't know if you know this or not, but it's in the gutter.
Yeah, it's bad. And the reason it's bad is because it's not just the two incomes things, because people talk about, oh, the government getting more taxes. No. You all are putting your onus on the wrong person, or actually on the wrong entity or person, because of what the freaking Supreme Court did. But it's the corporations that are the problem, not the government. People make this humongous mistake. The government is you. It's the people you vote in. You have an actual stake in that. You have no stake in corporations. So corporations are the ones that are the bad people. They're the problem. So they siphon your money. That's why they want two people working in the household, because if two people are working, yes, you pay more taxes, but if those taxes were giving you things back in return, services wise, you wouldn't have a problem paying those taxes. The problem is you're now two people working in a home and you're getting less because the corporations are siphoning your money, those taxes, to themselves, and doing stock buybacks and giving CEOs 300 to 400% of the money, 300 to 400 times rather, what it is that you're making.
So
Our
then,
birth rate's way low.
then why would it be a problem for any of us to say we'd like a man who can support a family? Why is that a problem if you think that men should be incurring all the debt and taking on all the financial responsibility? If a woman says, well, I'd like a man who can support a family in Santa Barbara.
Well, because...
Why?
Before Andrew answers, it's simple. Men don't have a problem with that. The thing with which they have a problem is females talk about having that guy without giving anything in return. Back in the day, females used to think about what it is that I'm going to give this man who I want to marry. That was their thought process. That was primary. What am I going to give him? There's a female who said something to me a couple months ago, and I date pretty females, and she's gorgeous, and she was like, she would give me a child because, she really, really cares about me. She has for a long time, and she'd give me a child. Her thought process is, what can I give to this man? That's her thought process. I want to give something to him. But females nowadays, a particular sect of them, especially in the West, are like, I just want everything. Like this one black chick was like, what I bring to the table? I bring this big A in this pretty face. And I'm going to take your money, and then I'm going to leave, and I'm going to take somebody else's. I'm going to do the same thing to the next guy. She literally said that. And I'm like, what? Yeah, ma'am, that's the problem. It's not that you all want a provider. It's that you all want a provider without providing anything in return.
I don't need no man.
Because this is a cyclical problem. So the problem is if you say, I would love to have a single income support me, but then at the same time not recognize the problem that if you double the workforce, you're going to have the wages of men, that you're basically perpetuating the same issue that you're against.
Jump in.
Again, jump in, asking the sisterhood. But Brian's like right and wrong there, because you will have the double the workforce, but that's not why the wages are being cut. As I said before, the wages are being cut because the corporations are siphoning all the money from you, even though your productivity is way higher than it used to be 40 years ago. You're only making a fraction of money more than what you were making 40 years ago. But the CEOs who used to only make 30 times what you made, so if you made 30,000, they made 900,000. You're now making 42,000 and they're making 20 million. So look at the jump. You went from 30,000 to 42,000, $12,000. They went from 900,000 to 20 million, like $19 million increase. And that's the problem, is that they're taking all of the money and they're giving it to all of the executives. They're no longer paying you for your productivity. They're only paying you for your time. I do workshops on this stuff. Two things are the things for which you get paid: your productivity and your time. So what you make, what you generate, and the time it takes you to make it. They're no longer paying you for what you generate. They're only paying you for your time now. And the money from what you generate, the productivity part, they're now giving to their executive branches. And then they're doing stock buybacks to artificially raise the price of the company's stock in order for them to look like the company's worth more than what it is, for them to be able to get more subsidies from the government and more investor money. This is the problem with the whole adding another person to the work roster. Not the incomes dropping because of that. That's not the primary reason why. But everything else he said absolutely destroyed these females who were talking. Bravo, Andrew. Bravo. Now, remember, this is the female guessing game. So out of all of these females you've seen, about which one do you think I'm about to ask you all? Drum roll, please. So, tell me, is she a traditional woman, modern woman, or modern female? Put it in the comment section and tell me why you think so. And then grab yourself some merch on the way out in order to support the channel. And, of course, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks, good man fam.